It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Mitchell into the lane, floater, good as the buzzer sounds. Mitchell on the left side, Donovan into the paint, put it up, good, and a foul to go with it. We got a tie game, and Mitchell heading to the free throw line to put the Cavs on top. Time on the clock, Mitchell to the left wing. Mitchell sidesteps, three ball, bullseye! A perfect three from the left wing.
Breaking news this morning, Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland Cavaliers star, has agreed to a 3-year, $150 million contract extension, and he's got a player option for a fourth year. Bad news, PK, for Jazz fans and Jazz management, I guess, also, who was hoping that Cleveland would lose him and be not very good in 2025 and 2027 because the Jazz have those draft picks. But now, at least on paper, it looks like Cleveland will be much better with Donovan Mitchell signed for those years.
Well, when I heard yesterday that this was going to happen and therefore he would be unable to go to the Knicks because they don't have any room for him, I was on a golf course and I just started running around celebrating wildly.
Nice.
I mean, I was high-fiving as if I had a hole-in-one. I just went berserk that he's in Cleveland. And we'll see what happens. You know, I think that you go back to what Justin Zanuck said, that there are good players out there, and it's their job to get the good players and find them. And whatever their picks may be, who's to say? I mean, you really don't know. He could, unfortunate injury.
Yep.
Hopefully not either. But
injuries can impact the team, and something could come up, and they could end up trading him by 27, so who knows?
But I think it's smart for him to take it and then only go for the 3-year deal, because what's that put him at? That doesn't even put him at 30.
He could get another mega deal later, and he's not. I mean, we all think he wants to go to New York, but there's nothing for him there. But in 3 years, who knows?
Right.
He could have signed a 5-year deal.
That's what I'm saying.
And so he's
That's
taking
why
the
I
middle
thought
ground.
it was smart
Right.
to do from his perspective. You're going to get gobs of money. You're going to be obscenely rich. You can afford to take your kids into private schools the way your parents did to you. And you can do all that and still have an opportunity to control maybe where you want to go before you even hit 30. And you would have at least 5 good years.
Yeah.
We're seeing guys play very well to 35. It's not unusual anymore. I mean, Jerry West retired at 34, I think. But the world was different then. And so I like this deal for him. I think it's the smartest thing to do.
Boston Celtics star Jason Tatum, happy where he is, doesn't want to go anywhere, so he's not messing around with 3-year extension. He'll take the 5-year, $314 million super max extension.
I really like this deal for him.
He's 26. He's going to have to console himself now with the fact that he'll be 31 before he gets another mega payday. But if I had to bet, I bet he gets another mega payday at 31.
Which is what he doesn't need.
Right.
Unless he just totally flounders his money, but he doesn't seem like that kind of dude.
There's a player option in the deal, so he did keep a door open there, if necessary. And, of course, he signs a year later than Jaylen Brown, so he's going to get more money, $314 million extension. Brown got $285 million last year. The money just keeps going up, and with a new TV deal coming in, somebody next year will break that super max
they can
extension.
afford now to buy nice condos in Boston next to each other if they want.
There you go. Celtics also gave Derek White a 4-year, $126 million extension. And the Celtics ownership group is going to put the franchise up for sale. Could fetch a record amount of money. They bought in for $360 million in 2002. Your Phoenix Suns, PK, just sold for $4 billion. You got to figure the Celtics are worth more than the Suns, bigger market, all that history.
Suns sold for $4 billion?
Yeah. I was just reading the story last night.
Hatback paid $2 million for the Jazz.
I thought he paid 2.5.
2.5?
No, I think you're right. It was 2, I think. I take that back.
Why would Phoenix be so much...
it was 1/6 on his original stake.
Yeah, but he bought a little more of the team.
Why would the Suns...
Because there's billionaires and they want teams. It's a supply and demand thing.
I know, but
it's stunning.
He was a
I get
billionaire.
it.
They wanted a team. That doesn't change anything. That doesn't explain to me why one franchise seemingly on the same trajectory, maybe a little bit of better market, bigger, not better, but bigger, would be double. I don't understand that. And I get why the Celtics, because they're going to be up against all sorts of aprons and luxury taxes and fringes and status 8s and all this status 10s and all this nonsense that they come up with. So get out while the getting's good.
Did you mean Exhibit 10 when you said that? No, you meant status 10 to mock Exhibit 10. Good.
Yeah.
Also, the new TV deal is kicking in, which is going to make everybody richer. So good time to sell, I guess. Go on, take the money and run. Sing it.
Well, I mean, that's a great phrase, richer, because that implies that you must be rich to begin with.
I believe that to be true, yeah. Former Golden State Warrior guard Klay Thompson headed to Dallas to play for the Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal. It will involve a sign and trade that sends swingman Josh Green to the Charlotte Hornets and a pair of future second-round picks going back to Golden State in the deal.
What, do you win 4 titles with them there?
Yes, he did. 4 championships.
He'll go down as a legend there. Play out the string a little bit here with Dallas. And, I mean, even if he sucks for Dallas, his record and reputation and all that stuff will be intact with the Warriors. He'll be a legend there forever and ever.
Shooting 38 or 39% from 3. You think he's got enough to be the third scorer for the Mavs? Not quite the same role he had in Golden State, where I think most nights he projected, well, certainly when they were in titles, he was the second best player on the court most nights. And he had nights where he was the guy.
I think Dallas just needs more good players.
Yes. I mean, more guys who can score in double figures and get them to 100 points.
Top, but then their role players, particularly in the final, after they had done so well, were a little off. And there's a couple of young guys there, so they can get better. And obviously he's not a young guy. But just come in and provide stability. Really for him, his value will be judged in the postseason.
Yep. And he's got all the playoff experience that the team was lacking this year, so we'll see if that helps. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Utah Jazz.
There's going to be opportunities to use it in multiple ways. I think I told you guys initially, like, free agency isn't the game changer anymore. It used to be, just with all the extensions. There's some solid players out there, but it's not anybody that's probably going to, like, move the needle in a significant way. They're more complementary. And so then you're looking for other opportunities to add impact players. That's why we have our picks. That's why we've stayed flexible, so that whenever those opportunities come up, we can do it. Are they there this year? Maybe. Maybe not. Takes another team to agree. All of that's on the table for us. Obviously, part of it may be for retaining our players, too, which, I'd be really excited about.
Jazz with a couple of smaller moves, as Justin Zanuck, the general manager, explains there are not going to be a lot of big moves. So the smaller moves, Jazz are set to sign former Suns forward Drew Eubanks, 2 years, $10 million. And Kris Dunn is now a former Jazz man. He leaves and goes to the Clippers, although it might end up being a multi-team sign and trade deal involving Utah and LA. We'll have to see how that shakes out.
I'm not too interested in what they would get back there. I think Kris Dunn sort of resurrected his career here. Good for that young man, and have an opportunity to continue to be in the league. He's a nice player, but you drafted Collier here, so let's see what you got. And you got George as a young guy. You're trying to find that. I agree with Jay-Z and what he's saying. The best way for free agency now is to get those complementary players who can be very vital and important. You're probably most likely not going to get a big-time free agent to come here, and not so much here. It's pretty much everywhere. But these other types of players that can come in and make differences and help you win are available. You're going to have to find ways to get stars. You've got one now, market him. I'd be hesitant to trade him because you've got one. I just don't see where trading away 3 All-Stars over the course of 2 summers is the right way to go. And maybe you can find another one to add to him through trade, and then certainly development. The pattern is there. It's not easy to accomplish, but the route is understood, I think, by all of us.
The trick is actually doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
I'm very excited to, just be a part of the old wave, which was, $30 million, and Justin Jefferson came and surpassed that, man. So very, proud of those guys. Happy for obviously my teammate Waddle, getting his new deal. So for guys like me, that's great. I'm 30 years old. Also looking for a new deal. So very, very excited to see where I fit in to like that category of players. Right. So it's amazing.
Tyreek Hill, Dolphins wide receiver, on the proliferation of big money wide receiver deals. He was on the front end of that wave. Now there are a couple guys, Brandon Ayuk in San Francisco, CeeDee Lamb in Dallas, trying to make that happen. Lamb's 25 years old. He's in talks for a long-term contract extension. Coach Mike McCarthy revealed Lamb expected to skip the start of training camp, and he skipped all of the mandatory minicamp and is subject to more than $100,000 in fine for skipping those, along with the club's voluntary spring workouts. We've seen those fines forgiven, and depending on how big a deal you're getting, they just become pocket change anyway. So CeeDee Lamb will keep working on that. John Gruden lost a bid for the Nevada Supreme Court to reconsider whether a contract interference and conspiracy lawsuit he filed against the NFL after he resigned as the Raiders coach should be heard in court or in private arbitration. 3-justice panel split. Gruden looking to see if he can appeal it to the full Nevada Supreme Court. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
The 1-0, and Alvarez hits it in the air pretty deep to left center. Going back on it, Varsho at the wall. He leaves. See you later! Yordan Alvarez goes deep.
First pitch. Iglesias swings and drives one to center. Young drifting back to the warning track. Turns at the wall. It's off the top of the wall and gone. And the Mets put up 2 more. 9-3 New York on Iglesias' first of the year.
Pitch to Cave. And he'll hit it to right field, center field. That's going to be the game winner. Racing going from third, Aaron Shoke, and Jake Cave on the first pitch he sees, rips it into right center field. 8-7 Rockies.
Jeff Cave winning it for Colorado in the 10th inning. Rockies beat the Brewers 8-7, take down the National League Central Division leaders.
And improved to 29-55.
Nice. Yordan Alvarez with a 2-run homer. Astros beat Toronto 3-1. Thought you'd have their record too.
Astros are 43-41 after a horrendous start.
Horrific start.
Yeah.
Back above 500.
I mean, I still think Seattle's going to win the division. It would be pretty much a major collapse if they didn't. But the Astros have got it going a little bit more. I mean, I guess maybe not a major collapse. But
have you seen the Seattle Mariners history?
I mean, yeah. But I mean, they've been flying high. Not getting Julio Rodriguez has not been his best. I suspect that he'll get hot at some point. I mean, the biggest surprise in that division is Texas being, 8 games under 500
Still 8
after
under.
winning the World Series last year.
8 games under and 8 games back.
Bochy's saying, forget this, I'm pushing 70.
I'm just here for the championships. And the Mets beat the Nationals. The Mets hanging out right at 500, right on the button after a 9-7 win. 41-41.
Yeah, we're halfway through the season now.
Yep. Bees lose to Tacoma 7-3. Same 2 teams tonight. First pitch, 8:05. Broadcast starts at 7:50 here on The Zone.
Hashtag RSL.
Free kick for Uruguay after the rain of foul. De La Cruz sends it in. Turner to save. The rebound's a goal. U.S. looking at the side, hoping to see a flag come up. It's not going to come up.
In my opinion, it's not something that you say, okay, this program's doomed. It's not the case at all. It was a poor performance. We didn't get the results that we expected, and we need to get better.
Soccer.
United States beaten by Uruguay 1-0, knocked out of the Copa America in group play. Greg Berhalter, the head coach, whose job is on the line, presumably. We'll see how this shakes out. They're going to do a full review, but a disappointing loss following up a horrific loss to Panama.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the U.S. men's soccer team. I think they need to step back, and they need to see what can be unburdened by what has been.
Okay, that sounded deep.
What can be unburdened by what has been?
That's actually brilliant.
Is that as good as we need flexibility within a structured system?
It's right up there.
Yeah. No, I didn't make that up.
Of course not.
No, that comes from one of our leaders. Over and over and over again. What can be unburdened, and you have to have the left hand has to point to the sky, and the right hand has to point down.
We need that webcam right now because you've done it. Left hand up. See if Berhalter gets fired, although that's the last major tournament before the United States, Mexico, and Canada host the World Cup in 2026.
What's wrong with you guys?
What is wrong is a great question.
I feel bad for you.
All the things that have been wrong have been improving and allegedly weren't going to be wrong. Well, the problem is MLS, the league isn't good enough. They need more players overseas in Europe.
Every single player. I saw the Lexi Lawless interview, too.
Yeah,
so,
everybody's out on social media. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Everybody's on Europe. So that's not the case. I just feel bad for you soccer people because we suck.
There it is. Fact.
I didn't watch the games, and it made any difference to me, but you people that are way into it.
Shouldn't have hired him for a second cycle. That's the third time the U.S. Federation has done it, and every time they've gotten worse results than they got from the coach in the first World Cup cycle.
Look at you criticizing the Federation.
Yeah,
what the heck's the Federation?
Bruce Arena didn't do as well the second time. Did even worse the third time when they brought him back, although he started
Who's the Federation? I don't need to just recite the coaches. Who's the Federation?
Well, it's different people over 20 years. I mean, they have different... Sunil Gulati. I mean, yeah.
Sunil Gulati?
Don't make fun of his name.
I didn't understand what you said.
His name is Sunil Gulati. S-U-N-I-L. It's not dude.
How do I know how to make fun of something that I didn't hear?
Sunil Gulati.
And you don't make fun of his name. I love him.
I actually don't. Never even met him.
Don't make fun of his name. How dare you? I'm very popular, and look at you.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Utah Hockey Club will open their debut season at home against Chicago Blackhawks October 8th. Circle it. The NHL. For reals. Before they go to New York to face the Rangers and Islanders.
8 o'clock, man. I'm going to be up late.
There it is.
They got to shorten those intermissions. We don't need 2 20-minuters.
They got to let the beer line go. They got a lot of commercials to put in the TV broadcast.
I mean, it worked well in Edmonton. I'll give you that.
No. See what you did there. We'll talk NHL later this morning with Adam Herman, NHL analyst and writer for the Bleacher Report. He's at 8:30. At 9:05, Colin Mills, host of the Locked On Warriors podcast. Find out the odds of the Jazz making a deal and getting...
Are we getting?
Jazz and Warriors making a deal and the Jazz getting...
Oh, you want us to get...
No, you were saying yesterday, I want Kuminga.
I know, I was going to get to it.
Okay. Thought you'd forgotten.
You interrupted me. Again, during What's Trending. It happens all the time.
I cued you multiple times and you didn't answer the bell. Don't put it on me. It's right there.
I never put anything on you.
Right
it's
there.
Always on me. We understand how it goes.
Right there. Hot Takes or Toast is brought to you by Siegfried and Jensen. With 30 years of serving Utah, the question of the day is next.